Hey everyone, welcome to day 73. Thanks for joining me on the mat. And today I'm going to be taking you through a brief video to fix your downward facing dog. So a lot of the times in yoga, we think that it's only about stretching. In fact, when a lot of the poses are meant for strength and balance and bringing stability. And as with any exercise or any movement, if you're not mindful of how you're doing it and where you should be feeling it in your body, injury might occur. So this is fixing your downward facing dog, and I'm going to be doing a series of these with fixing your plank, fixing your side plank, and other various ones. So we're going to break it down step by step to try and figure out the best way for you to feel your downward facing dog so that you get the most out of it. And if you're going to be only doing 20 or 30 minutes of a yoga video or a brief yoga session, you want to do it well so that you can maximize the effects in your body. So let's begin. You're going to come into your hands and knees, okay? And first, I just want you to feel how your pelvis moves, okay? So having your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, you're going to think of your tailbone almost like if you can imagine a dog with its tail, okay? You're going to lift that tail up towards the sky, okay? And as you do so, your belly drops to the floor, okay? So that's one motion, which is called an anterior tilt. Okay. Then the other motion is where you see a scared dog, where it brings its tail between its legs, and as you do that, you should feel your tailbone curling underneath you, okay, and your back rounding. So this is basically your cat-cow. Okay, so this is your anterior tilt. Belly drops to the floor, tailbone lifts up. Okay, so my tail now feels like it's in the air. And now I'm bringing my tail in between my legs and my belly rounds up towards my spine. Okay, so this is your cow and this is your cat that you normally do. All right, so remembering those two positions of your pelvis when we do the downward facing dog. So taking your hands, one palm print in front of you, tuck your toes with your knees bent, lift them up, feel your belly engage as you slowly move back and keeping the knees bent here. And now if you need to adjust your stance, you can do so. I felt like my hands were a little bit too far away from me. All right. So the reason why we're bending our knees here is so that we can bring our back into not that cat position, but a cow position. So let your tail lift up to the ceiling. And as you let your tail lift up to the ceiling, the pelvis rocks forward, and you should automatically start to feel a stretch in the backs of your legs. Okay? So it's not trying to get the heels down and trying to stretch the backs of the legs down, because let's do a practice where you're not bending your knees and notice what that feels in your back. So my knees are completely straight. Notice where your imaginary tail would be. It's rounded underneath you. It feels like it's between my legs. It's not tipped up to the ceiling. Now, as you bend your knees and send that tail up to the ceiling, okay, noticing how that still stretches the backs of the legs, but they feel a bit more engaged and you have more control. And the way the downward facing dog pose is, it should be a resting yet stable pose that balances the arms and legs and really stretches the spine. This is an inversion, and it should feel like your spine is feeling elongated and stretched as you push your arms into the floor. And then lower yourself down for a brief moment. Good. And then just come back up. All right, so now we've kind of created an understanding of what's going on in the pelvis and how when you tip your pelvis with your tail coming up, you automatically feel a stretch in the backs of your legs and your spine gets elongated. Now, with the upper body, what I'm trying to do is wrap my shoulder blades around my back. So if I have my hands on the floor, I'm kind of rotating the creases of my elbows to face the front of the mat. Okay, so just try it. Rotate them in towards each other and then rotate them out towards the front of the mat. And as you do that, notice what you feel in your shoulder blades and your neck. So as I rotate the creases of my elbows towards each other, it feels like my shoulders are rounded and there's a bit of constriction in my neck here. Okay? Versus when my creases of the elbows are pointed towards the front, my engagement of my shoulder blades feel more relaxed onto my back, and I feel like there's a lot of space in my neck, which is what you want. All right, so trying this again, we go into our downward facing dog, and I'll walk you through it. So tucking the toes, belly pulls in, send your hips up and back, pressing the floor away. Getting your pelvis in that nice upward sort of tilt with your tail, feeling the stretch in the backs of the legs. And now imagine, like you're still on the floor, how we practice with the arms, the creases of the elbows turn towards the front, and you're using your whole hand and palm to press into the floor so that you feel your shoulder blades wrapping around you, hugging the backs of your ribs, and your neck is free. Okay, so you can shake your neck out. It should feel nice and balanced with the legs working as well as the arms working. Breathing in and out. And then lower yourself down. All right, so that was your mini tutorial in how to do a really active downward facing dog where you feel like your spine feels elongated, your shoulder blades are working, there's no constriction in your neck, and you're still getting a really nice stretch in the back of your legs without necessarily needing to like jam the heels down into the floor. Okay, so it's really all about the tilt of the pelvis and engaging the shoulder blades, again, which is what the core is about. So stay tuned for more shorter videos of how to clean up certain poses in your practice. And stay tuned. Bye.